What's up guys, and welcome back once again to the reviews. Today I'm checking out an AIO cooler from Valkyrie. This is the Syn 240. It comes in this amazing box. I've done an unboxing of this already. So today we're going to be testing it and see how well it performs. So it is a 240mm AIO. So with a screen on it as well. So we'll be testing it. I'll show you what it looks like once it's installed, and I'll show you some of the features of the software and what the screen can do. So stick with me guys and let's take a look. Right, so let's quickly take a quick look at the software that comes with this. This is called the MythCool software. It is currently in beta stage, so basically it's not going to be finished as of yet. Let's have a quick talk about what you can do on this software, and obviously I'll show you up on the screen, as you can see at the moment, what's actually happening on the cooler's screen at the same time. So you get an idea of how this works and how good it is, things like that. So first of all, your first screen is your hardware information, so it lists everything about your system, obviously CPU, GPU, everything like that, RAM, and it also gives you a readout of your frequencies and your temperatures that are currently on your processor, GPU, motherboard, and the primary hard drive. So it gives you quite a lot of information here, which is quite good. Quite like this. Like I said, gives you enough information to be getting on with. Then we go over to the device management, which is what gives you the access to the screen controls, which we'll have a look at in just a second. We've got a game PP toolbox, which gives you loads of different things. So it actually gives you benchmarking tools and things like that. It gives you a stress test, benchmark, gives you an 64 skin, RGB, so you can change your RGB lights. If you've got like a hub connector or anything like that, I assume it'll also give you motherboard control, because it's just going to control it through there. Monitor PC status in real time with the game PP, to improve your game buff. The single player game modifier. I'm not going to try any of this at the moment. And I've got NVIDIA GeForce driver, AMD software driver, and Intel driver, so it gives you sort of access to those as well. But they're not really what we're talking about today, because they're not anything to do with this cooler. And then we've got super cool fan as well, which also gives you control over your fans. As you can see, I've got GPU fans that you can control on here as well, and obviously you've got a couple connected to the motherboard as well. So the top one will be the CPU header, and the second one is the AIO pump, and obviously any others you've got connected to fan headers on your motherboard will also be shown here. Currently I'm only running the AIO fans, as I've been testing it for noise, so I wanted to keep it isolated. And then also you've got different profiles down here. You can bind fans to these profiles with this button here, and you can set up a discrete profile, which basically gives you a curve. As I can just show you here, that gives you a curve, so you can set that, and then you can add that to whichever fan you want, so you can control each sort of fan zone independently on here. And it also gives you a full speed option, and you can calibrate it as well, so it knows what fans are running and speeds they can run at. Currently here, a little gripe with this is that for some reason the sensor comes up in, I assume, Chinese, maybe Japanese, I don't know, to be honest with you. So that comes up there, but everything else is in English, so it's easy to understand. But let's get back to the device management, which is obviously what we're talking about here for this cooler, and we can see what options we have available. So it tells you what cooler you're running. Obviously it's the Valkyrie E-Series cooling, so this is the Syn 240 obviously that we're using, and it gives you a layout on here about what's actually on the screen at the moment, and obviously you'll be able to see that on camera, what it can show. Coming down here, it says caution, do not use it with Sagittarius, whatever that is, I don't know. Apply settings, screen display, content switch, I'm not sure what that does. That just turns off the content basically, so it turns off the writing and just gives you the Valkyrie symbol as it is there. And then we've got font color down here. Currently only 2 options. You should be able to see those now. As you can see, it's gone black. You can barely see it on the screen. So obviously we'll have that on white at the moment. No other options at the moment, so it'd be nice to see some more options come to that once it's up and running in its non-beta phase. And then one of the main ones here, which obviously it depends on how you've installed your cooler, you get to basically rotate the screen however you want. So it's basically saying, related to where the pipes are coming out the side of the cooler, is how it lays it out. And as you can see, it flips it round and orientates the information right, so it's easier to read. And you can see we just flip it all around and everything. as you can see there. So we'll put it back to how it should be. So obviously you can have it however you want depending on how you've mounted the cooler. So that's pretty good. Then we've also got this area here which is dynamic effects, which lets you select a image or video file. So we'll just select an image and we'll show you what that looks like. So now you can see it basically switches to USB mode copies file. So assume that's what the TF card's for, and then verifies it, and then we'll apply it to the head. As you can see now we've got the image on it has gone upside down, but we'll flick that around until we get the right orientation. So I'm not quite sure why it's flipped it the wrong way around and then doesn't allow me to basically have the image the right way around. I'm not really sure what's going off there. That's obviously a little bit of a glitch with the software, so if I have it the way I want the screen, it's rotating the image as well. No, it's not. It's sorted itself out, and now's the right way around. So now you can see you have your own logo on there, and then obviously you can change the colour of the text to make it stand out a bit better if you need. Definitely need some more options on there for the text colour. And now you can see we've got a video on the screen, which is just one of my shorts from a while back, which is a bit of Resident Evil Village. And as you can see, it looks actually quite good. It's gone on there quite nicely. Obviously, in terms of the aspect ratio, it's supposed to be 4:3, so if you're wanting something to look nice and not stretched in any way, then you're going to need to alter your videos or save them in the right format to be able to get these to look properly. So that's that. Obviously, we've got, like I say, we've got a video on there as well, which is good. For some reason you can't apply GIFs or GIFs, so you'd have to make them into a short video to apply your GIFs or GIFs on there, so just bear that in mind. And then finally we've got the screen display content here, so we can put on here, as you can see, sensors. You can add another panel to put other things on. So on there you can basically add a time, so it'll flick between the two. It'll go from your sensors to your time and show you the clock as well. You can add more, and you can change between time model and sensor model, so you could have like different panels showing different sensors and things like that if you wanted to. And you can have the clock on there as well. So you've got a fair few options there. And let's talk about the sensor panel. You select the sensor model here, and then you can have up to 3 sensors. Not sure why you can only have 3 when it reads more than that. Again, that's probably another thing that needs to be sorted. And you can select between CPU clock, GPU clock, and memory clock. And then you can also select between motherboard temperature, CPU temperature, GPU temperature, memory temperature. And you can also select fan speed and voltages as well. So you've got quite a few different things you can have on there. So if you want to select those, you can. I'm not really sure why you'd want fan speed and voltage on there. Voltage maybe, but fan speeds I wouldn't really use. But I've got it set up at the moment. So CPU clock, GPU temperature, and CPU temperature. And obviously you can see on there you can select the different temperatures you want to show as well, so you can have the different sensors on the CPU, so you can have your CCDs and all that kind of thing, core zeros and things like that. Literally everything on the CPU you can have pretty much. I can't see package on there though, which I'm not sure why, but we'll leave it as the average sort of sensor there. And you can also have that on the GPU. You can show temperature, GPU temperature, memory junction, hotspot, and the thermal limit on there. So you've got quite a few options there. And clock speed, you can just have the overall clock speed. You can't have per core clock speeds. It'll give you the average clock speed across all cores. So that's the software, guys. Like I say, there's not a massive amount to talk about in there. It is in beta stage, and hopefully this will be improved a little bit more as we go on, and you get a few more options, which I will obviously be speaking to Valkyrie about, just to let them know my feelings on this. So let's go back up top and talk about the temperatures and how well this cooler performs. Right, guys, so you've seen how good this cooler looks, and you've seen sort of the software side of it and how good the screen is. I absolutely love it. I think it looks brilliant. The actual quality of the screen's pretty decent as well, especially when playing a movie on it. It looks really, really good. Like I say, you will be able to put GIFs on it, but you'd have to convert them into a video file, which is a bit of a shame at the moment. However, hopefully Valkyrie will work on this and get it available to just go straight into GIFs, GIFs, or however you pronounce them. So that's that. First of all, let's talk about the temperatures, and then I'll give you my sort of final thoughts on this cooler itself and what I like and don't like about it. So For my temperature testing, I ran Cinebench multi-core 23, Cinebench 23 multi-core for a whole 10 minutes on all these tests. I did 50% fan speed, 100% fan speed, 75% fan speed, and then I also ran Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I'll do average temperatures for that because obviously it gets a spike and then sort of averages out a lot lower than the spike was throughout that testing. So let's first talk about the idle temperatures. So 100% fan speed, the package was at 30 and the CPU was at 27. At 75% fan speed, exactly the same, 30 and 27. And then at 50% fan speed was at 31 and 28 on CPU package and CPU respectively. So absolutely fantastic there. These graphs, I'll put up the above ambient temperature on there as well. It will look different on some of them because obviously the temperature increased as I was doing these tests. So I just want to give you an idea of how the test, basically the temperature was in the room at the time and how it compares to that. So then we went on to the max testing for Cinebench, and again 175, 50% of fan speed, and we did CPU package and CPU at the same time. So the maximum at 100% was 69 and on the package, and 58 on the CPU, holding 4.4 gigahertz throughout. On 75%, the maximum was 70 on the package and 58 on the CPU, so not much difference at all. And then at 75%, we got up to 73 and 62 respectively. And only holding 4.3 gigahertz there, but generally throughout most of the tests it's 4.4 gigahertz all core, with some spikes in between on certain cores. And during the testing at 100%, when I was doing 100% testing, the ambient temperature was 19.5 degrees in here. It's quite cool here at the moment. 75% it was 19.7, and at 50% it was 20. So obviously you'll see the differences on the graph here to show you the over ambient temperature. Now getting on to gaming, I've used Shadow of the Tomb Raider here. Yes, I know it's an old game, however it is quite CPU intensive, so at 1080p it should be hitting the CPU hard, which is what we want to do to show you how it performs during gaming. And the results are fantastic as well on this, to be honest with you. So like I said, I'll give a max on this, and I'll also give an average because with this game you tend to find when you load the game it spikes up quite high but then drops down and runs that lower temperature pretty much throughout the test. So I'll just use the built-in benchmark, like I said, at high settings 1080p. So Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the maximum temperatures 100% was 48 on the package and 37 on the CPU. At 75% was 51 and 43, and then at 50% was 55 and 47. Now my ambient temperatures in here at the time were a lot lower because I did it the day after earlier on, and it was really cold in here. So 100% at the time it was 17 degrees in here, at 75 was also 17 degrees, and at 50% it was at 17.2 degrees ambient temperature, just to give you an idea of the temperatures in here. And then average testing, like I say, the spikes were a lot higher, so you see the 48 spike, 51 and 55 spikes. But then if you look at the averages, the average at 100% fan speed was 45 on the package and 34 on the CPU. At 75% was 48 and 38, and at 50% was 51 and 41. With CPU clock speeds getting up to pretty much between 4.5 and 4.9. Obviously only some cores were going to 4.9, but generally was hovering between those two figures, so keeping the clock speeds nicely. So there we go, there's the temperature results. Really good. I'm really impressed by this for a 240. It's doing very well. It would be nice to see how well the 360 and the 420 and the 480 perform, because this performs fantastic for a 240. Really impressed with it. I can't knock it in terms of performance at all. So yeah, for performance is definitely a thumbs up for me. Now let's talk about everything else I like about this, and some things I don't like about this. So first of all, the looks of it looks absolutely incredible. Obviously that's personal preference, but I really like it. Those fans that they include, the X12s, The RGB implementation on those looks really, really nice. It's a bit different to what you see on most fans, but yeah, it looks very, very good. The braided cables on it, tubes, although that's pretty much standard now. The way they've been done looks really, really nice. Looks like a really good quality finish with the where the connections are and stuff into the pump. The pump housing itself with the screen on it looks absolutely amazing. Really, really impressed with the looks of that. The screen looks wicked, and obviously you've got a few options as I've shown in the software of what you can do with that. It would be nice to see a few more, but at the moment it looks very, very good. The quality of the screen is really, really good. So now let's get on to a few of the bits that I don't like, or I feel could be improved. So first of all, going back to the pump housing with the screen on it, the pump housing has lots of red accents on it, which isn't going to be for everyone. Now I personally like it because I like red, and my builds generally, my main rig is red themed, so all my lights are red and everything like that. So to me it looks brilliant. But obviously for some people it's not going to be right, it's not going to fit their theme, and obviously that's going to put some people off. Obviously you could spray paint it and something like that if you really wanted to, if you're that way inclined to do that. But that's obviously something you wouldn't really want to be doing on a brand new piece of kit, and obviously it's probably going to void your warranty if you do stuff like that to it. Now obviously, like I showed you do in the unboxing video, I showed there's two little magnetic pieces, the top and bottom of it with the red bits. There's two little magnetic pieces there, and you can actually change those over for the ones included in the package, but they only include like a sky blue colour, so again, it's not going to be to everyone's taste, and there's obviously still other red bits on it that can't be changed. So that's just a little aesthetic thing that I think could be improved, or maybe just made black, or include other bits that you can change as well. So you can change all the little accents. Would have been nice to see, just for other people that aren't interested in a red themed or blue themed system. Now the next part, the pump, it's a little bit loud at times. I run it 100% all the time, which I do on most coolers, and I think most people do, to be honest with you, just run it 100%. It's a little bit loud at times, however I'm testing it with the sides off, so it's probably obviously not going to be as noticeable when you've got your sides on your case. Fans aren't particularly loud. If you run them at max chat, they are loud, but most fans I've tested, to be honest with you, if not all, are very, very, not very, very loud, but are loud when at full speed. So bear that in mind, but they are nice fans. Now coming back to the fans, they've got a proprietary connection on them, but it is included with an adapter that terminates it to a normal PWM RGB signal, so that's not too much of a problem. However, obviously for some reason you lost that cable or something, then you can't use the fans anymore, so just bear that in mind. The pump housing, obviously the cables, you've got to have a USB cable coming out of it. It is a hard cable to hide because it is quite a chunky connector that comes out the side. If you could make that somehow a little bit more low profile, that would have been better as well. But it doesn't stand out too much. Obviously, as I'm talking, you'll be seeing stuff on screen as well. I don't think it stands out too much in your case. It doesn't look too bad, but it is a difficult cable to hide. If you're obviously running it in a different orientation to what I've got it, then obviously you'll have it coming out a different side and you might be able to hide it a bit better, but that's just the way that worked best for me in terms of routing the tubing. And then lastly for this, the last thing that I think could be improved is the software. However, I already spoke about that. There's not enough control over sort of the text and stuff like that. The way you can display the information, like you should be able to like move it about if you want to and things like that. I think it would be a lot better. It gives you like a little picture at the top of how it's laid out. It'd be nice if you could just like drag that around and alter things and change the way it looks basically. If you got a few more options as well on what you could display, you can display pretty much what you need to, but if you could display more at once, if you know what I mean, so you can only get three sensors on there at a time, and the way the screen is, it's screaming out to have one in each corner and have four at the same time. I don't know why there's only three. Well, so you've got on this, the way they've done this, you've got three. You've got a main one in the middle and then two sort of subcategories at the bottom. So the software does need some improvement, for sure. It needs a few more options, but like I say, I've already really spoken about that in the bit I did about the software, so was talked mostly about that. So that's it really, guys. That's my in-depth review of this cooler. So points to note: performance very good, aesthetics very, very good. It looks really, really nice. And obviously then I've noted a few of the bits that could be changed. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've really enjoyed testing this. Again, thank you to Valkyrie for sending this out to me. It is a lovely, lovely looking cooler. And like I say, it does perform well. And so if you're in the market for a cooler with a screen on it, and you've not seen this one before, then I can recommend this one. I've looked on their website, and at the moment the current pricing on the 240 is around 190 euros, so it is quite an expensive AIO. But they do obviously sell the bigger ones as well, and also that'll go up in price, but the link will be in the description for you to have a look at that. You may be able to get it elsewhere for cheaper. Obviously, you have a Google for it, you might find it elsewhere. But just so you know, their current pricing is 190 euros for this. But yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. So if you're looking for one with a screen that's a bit different to your other ones like your Asus and Gigabytes and things like that, NZXT and stuff like that, then this one is a good choice for sure. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Thank you for watching. If you did like this video, please don't forget to give it a like or a dislike if you didn't like it. If you have any comments about this or have any questions, then please leave them in the comments section and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe. It costs you nothing and it helps me out massively. So thank you for that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.